So they have a greater capacity for communications. Capacity, what's capacity? Capacity is the amount of things that you are able to do, okay? But unlike most sound and radio waves, microwaves can be dangerous to humans since they have the ability to cause changes in the objects they strike. Since, what does that mean? Because. Because they have the ability to cause changes in the objects they strike. This, incidentally, is the principle behind a microwave oven. This, incidentally. What does that mean, incidental? Incidental means less important than the other thing. Okay? Or something that is not a major part. This, incidentally, is the principle behind a microwave oven. So it's the principle of the microwave oven. Why do they say behind a microwave oven? Principle behind. It's because we can't see the principle, right? It just makes things work. So that's why we call it principle behind a microwave oven. The microwaves excite the water molecules in food. The microwaves excite. What does that mean? Excite means to make more tension in it. Okay? Make something more active. Okay? The water molecules. What's a molecule? Molecule is the smallest amount of a chemical substance which can exist by itself. Okay? This causes them to vibrate, which heats the food. What does that heat mean? Heat means to raise the temperature. That's also why you shouldn't stand too close to a microwave oven or a microwave tower. Why? Because you'll get burned. Understand what I mean? So that was everything. Let's go to the questions. Why does the professor explain microwaves? Why? Because she said she's going to compare it with sound waves. No, compare the sound waves with microwaves and radio waves. That's why she explained microwaves. But that's not in the option. So you have to read everything. You just have to pick the one that is true. Okay? But what I say is the better answer for this question. Anyhow, why? To mention their usefulness in communications will be the best one. Because she pointed out it was dangerous. Okay? She said she didn't say how effective they are at cooking food. So this is not the answer. To complain about how many people get injured by them, this is not the answer either. Okay? So it will be A or B, but she talked about the fact that it's useful in communications more than she said it was dangerous to humans. Do you understand? So this is, if you have to pick from these four, B is the answer. What does effective mean? Effective means to work well and bring the injured mean. Injured means to damage the body. According to the professor, which of the following are characteristics of waves? Which one? They contain energy, they have speed. BC, right? Hold on. She said click on two answers. Click, okay? Click on two answers. So, it's B and C. it's in the beginning. A wave is a disturbance that can move through space, has speed, and contains energy. But in a lot of cases, you won't be able to remember everything that the professor says. So even if you don't remember this sentence, you can just infer from all the things that you have heard, okay? They have energy, they have speed, okay? They can move through anything. No, right? Because sound wave was a wave, okay? But it can't move through vacuum. So it's A is not the answer. They are audible to the human ear. Just the sound wave is audible. And it said you can't. Hold on. But we use radio waves for communication, but the human ear cannot hear them. So we can't hear the radio waves. And she didn't talk about if we could listen to, if we could hear microwaves or not, but we can't. So this is not the answer. No, D is not the answer. So B and C, everybody. How does the professor organize the information about waves that she presents to the class? How does she explain? No, I mean organize the information. Okay? So that means the way of her speech. The answer would be that she describes waves. She describes waves in general and then discusses them one by one, because she talked about what wave is first. Okay, a wave is a disturbance that can move through space, has speed, and contains energy. All waves have certain characteristics, so she talks about what generally waves are, and then she discussed the sound wave, and then the radio wave, and the microwave. So this is D is the answer. Let's look at other options. A. She reads aloud from the text and encourages the students to ask questions. She reads aloud. What does that mean, reads aloud? Reads aloud means to read something loud enough for people to hear, okay? From the text. What is a text? The text is a passage that is intended to teach people, alright? And encourage the students. What does encourage mean? Encourage means to make them want to do something, alright? She reads aloud from the text and encourages the students to ask questions. She doesn't do that, right? B. She discusses some of the advances that humans have made by researching waves. This has nothing to do with the passage. C. She covers waves in order from those with the highest frequency to the lowest. Did she? No, right? For one thing, the sound waves are not in the electromagnetic spectrum, so this is not what counts. And then she talked about the radio waves first, which is the lowest, and then the microwaves, which is the second lowest. So it's not it's not from, oh my goodness, from the highest to the lowest. I think I got this wrong. It's not form, it's from, okay? Let's go to the next question. Based on the information in the lecture, do the following refer to radio waves or microwaves? Refer to means related to, okay? So, have the longest wavelength. Which one? Radio waves, right? What did she say? Radio waves are part of the electromagnetic energy spectrum. They have the lowest frequency and the longest wavelength in that spectrum. So, radio waves. may cause harm to humans. Microwaves, right? Because it's the principle of the microwave oven, so you better not go near the microwave oven. Are highly used in long distance telecommunications. Which one? Microwaves, right? Microwaves have what? Shorter wavelength. That means it's more powerful. Okay. What did it say? For many years, microwaves were the main source of long-distance telecommunications. So this one's microwave. Have a very low frequency. What do you think about this? Can be any of the two. They have, what is very low? There's no standard for what is very low. Okay, but the lower of the two is the radio wave, so you better click this, although it's not a good option. Listen again to the part of the lecture, answer the question. Let's listen, my viewers.
It's a matter. So
5. Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
sound waves can move through all 4 states of matter: solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. However, they can't move through a vacuum. So please remember that despite Hollywood's best efforts to prove otherwise, in numerous science fiction movies, there's no sound in space.
Why does the professor say this?
So please remember that despite Hollywood's best efforts to prove otherwise, in numerous science fiction movies, there's no sound in space.
Why does the professor say that? This sentence means that if you watch Hollywood movies about space, okay, maybe there are scenes where people can hear sound from space, okay, but she's saying that that is wrong. So what is the answer? To claim that some movies are not entirely realistic. That's the answer, right? To claim that, what does claim mean? Claim means to say that something is true. Entirely means wholly, okay? B, so A is the answer. B, to describe the effects of how sound travels in space. This is not the answer. To imply that Hollywood movies actually employ scientific facts. What does employ mean here? It means to use, okay? Use. This is the opposite, right? They're not entirely true. D, to encourage the students to watch some Hollywood movies. Definitely not. So this is not the answer. A is the answer. Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question. Let's listen.
6. Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
This is why astronauts in space are able to talk with mission control back on Earth.
Do radio waves have sound?
That's a tricky question.
What does the professor mean when she says this?
That's a tricky question.
Tricky means what? Difficult to know. So it's a difficult question to answer. Why did she say that? That's because it has sound. It can have sound, but you have to convert it, transform it to sound waves. That's why it's difficult to answer. You can't say that it has sound or it doesn't have sound. Okay. A, she does not know the answer. Is not the answer. The student is trying to fool her. No, she wants the student to answer his own question. No. So the answer is B. Wow, it was a long lesson.